I wake up in the morning, I'm minding my own business. I turn on the TV, and it's all about Ben Affleck. Every single channel is talking about his biggest regret. I knew what it was before I saw the story. They're trying to tease it with a commercial break. Like, let me guess. You know, messing over Jen Gardner. And then they come back from commercial, and that's what it is. So he gave an interview to the New York Times, and you know, they split back in 2015. They've got 3 children together, 7, 11, and 14. That's a really sticky age for children to have to deal with their mom and dad and, you know, being divorced and stuff like that. I'm not saying that the parents shouldn't have got divorced if it wasn't working out. I'm just saying, I don't even want to know that's his biggest regret. Because in my mind, of course it is, you know? Other than leaving Jennifer Lopez. I still like Jennifer. I still like them together, but I want Jen to get back with my man.
Mark Anthony?
Mark Anthony. Yep. But she and A-Rod are good, so I'm fine with that. Anyway, back to the other Jen. He says, you know, that he regrets, you know, drinking heavily at a time in their marriage, you know, and she's like telling him, you know, you're a bad husband, you're a bad father, you're coming home late, what are you doing? You know, you're falling out of places. Do we have the picture of him in the back seat? She's in the front seat, and here he is, okay? She's driving, and he's back there slumped. And they got the 3 kids. A 14-year-old is old enough to be home from school because it's still President's Week. I still don't understand why a President's is a whole week. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was honoring presidents on one day and then a bunch of sales on mattresses, couches, and cars. I don't really understand that. But anyway, so what are the kids doing for the whole week? Are they actually learning about presidents? Are they actually doing anything other than, you know, the 8-year-olds sneaking and watching the Miss Wendy show? You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't think that he necessarily wants to get back together by saying this. I would never get back together with him if I were her. She is now with a formidable boyfriend. He's a multimillionaire, and his name is John Miller. That's John. I don't know what John does except for her. I don't know. But, you know, okay, fine. In the meantime, speaking of marriage, Nick Cannon says he never wants to get married again. He's done. He was on Entertainment Tonight. He said, if you jumped out of a plane one time and it didn't work out, you won't do it again, would you? He says, I barely survived. Why would I jump out of a plane again? Well, you want to know what? I really want him in my mind to get back together with Mariah Carey. Yeah. In my mind. I didn't believe that relationship when it first started. You know, I was on the radio and I was, you know, the one yip yap, like, get out of here. This is not really real. You know, Mariah's a woman, she's with a boy and the whole bit. But as time went on, and then they had the children, and then I could see how I want them to get back together. I do. In a marital way. But he says he'll never get married again. But you know what? You can never say never. You know, I mean, as my marriage was crumbling, I knew in my mind, and now I'm finally divorced, I want to get married again. And I am not hiding that. I don't know when it'll happen. You know, I'm dating and, you know, I know, you know. But And not right now do I want to get married again, because I thought I wanted to get married again, you know, like by the summer. But no. But no, well, no, there are qualified suitors. Believe me, you. But here's the thing. No, now I just kind of want to zip it and do it. Now I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying being single, but in my mind, I want to get married. Now, if I never get married again, then at the very least, I want a life partner. You know, a man who is my partner. I don't want you to buy me things. My son doesn't need a stepdad, nothing like that. But this is what Nick is talking, how George Clooney talked when because George was married years ago. And now George is married again to Amal. In between divorcing the first woman and meeting Amal, he said, I'm never gonna get married again. And he was a real grown frat boy, you know, running around with the Dos Migos vodka and having that place over in Italy with the gorgeous gondolas and stuff. And now they've got 2-year-old twins and he's married again. So in life, sometimes you can never say never about certain things, you know, about certain things. That's all I'm saying, Nick. You can never say never. Aw, Mariah. I know she's with the background dancer, but that's not, you know, that's... She's gonna get tired of telling him what to do, and a man who doesn't have a horse in the race, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a powerhouse like Mariah, you need somebody who's gonna power back at you sometimes. Somebody who's gonna say, like, sit down. Every once in a while, girls, you need a sit down. 'Cause you know how we pop off. Anyway, so Jenna Dewan and her new man are engaged. Aww. Yeah. Well, they're pregnant, so they're pregnant. She looks beautiful. His name is Steve, and they're expecting their first child in the spring. And Jenna recently finalized her divorce from Channing Tatum. Channing has moved on to a young lady. Jessie J, right? And so they're using Jenna and Jenna and Shannon.
Oh, who's Jenna and Channing Tatum, right?
That's what I said.
But you paused, and I was like, where are you going with this? I thought you were
I'm trying to push a burp down. It'll probably come up later on in the show, but I'm trying to digest my delicious meal.
Right.
Of kale. I like the same things all the time. Like, I wear my food out. It's the same kale salad with all the olives and stuff and delicious dressing that I had for breakfast. It was left over from yesterday. Braised beef, but pulled so it's like braisy. No bones. Braised beef and pasta. You walked in my office, you said it smells like a restaurant in here. Only to hear Morel scream.
Yes, in the background.
Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna say one word.
No.
But yup, it's going down. It's going down. Anyway, so Jenna and Channing are using a co-parenting app to help raise their 6-year-old daughter, Everly. Now, I don't know how you all feel about this. I feel this is a terrible idea. I don't care if the parents can't stand each other to the depth of death. You gotta get it together. You got a 6-year-old. Come on, an app? This means they don't even have to speak with each other. You know, he'll be waiting at the front door. I left the lock off. His bag is right next to him. Pull him outside and twist the lock back and go, bye. What is that? If you're co-parenting or anything like that, do you think that using an app is helpful? No. Clap if you do. All right. 2 hardened women. Okay. Are you a parent already? All right, well, that's why you're talking. Because somebody in my Hot Topics meeting never had kids, doesn't want kids, and talking about the app is good. No, you pipe down until you have kids. Pipe down. Do you have kids? Are you with the father? No. Do you think an app would help better? Yes. To co-parent? Yes. What is wrong with just meeting in a parking lot and exchanging the kids or just being civilized for one of your adult moments of the day.
Sometimes I just don't want to hear it.
Well, you're an adult, though. How old are your kids?
I have one, and he's 8.
8. That's old enough to see Mom. Suzanne, you see what I'm saying with these people?
Yeah.
That's old enough for the 8-year-old to see Mom and Dad fight.
Yeah.
For one day, or however many days you guys swap off kids, 3 times a week or something, can't you just pipe down and be grown and civilized like you are here? You look beautiful, by the way. I like your booties.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, but sometimes it takes 2 people, and if the person's not mature enough and you understand that.
Nope. It takes 1 to tango for 5 minutes to swap the kids, put the bag in the car, kiss the baby goodbye, and be on your way. Suzanne?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Take her mic back.
Okay, get it back.
Take her mic back. Suzanne.
Done.
No, but Suzanne.
Yes.
I don't understand.
It does. It takes just a couple minutes to gather yourself and make it work. I agree.
And also, the thing about using an app to swap kids, it's people like Norman with nothing better to do than sit at his computer and hack into your app to find out how you talk to each other and what the swap is. Norman, you know.
How did I get involved in this?
Because you know what you do. You know you're good at what you do.
Right.
And you know what you do.
Right. It might be fun to hack an app, maybe.
Heck an app. Heck an app.
Look, I'm done. I'm done with that particular story. So I'm sitting in the house, minding my own business. I'm having, my niece came over. She was up from Miami. She flew back last night, but she was over. We're sitting there. We're watching, Judge Judy, TMZ, all the usual stuff that you watch in the afternoon. And by the way, the paparazzi were outside our building. I was like, look at this app. Show that picture. Me and her were just minding our own business. That's not a yes. That is not yes. She's over my shoulder. We get out of the car and we're just going upstairs and I'm thinking about, what else are we gonna eat? Because we had already eaten something. We're both foodies. She does the ABC News in Miami. She was up for the day to speak at her alma mater, St. John's, right? And then she was flying back. She didn't have to be there until 6 o'clock. So it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, Al, let's go back to my apartment. We'll sit and we'll talk and we'll have a good old niece and auntie, right? We get out of the car. I'm like, look at this. Now, mind you, the whole afternoon was a firestorm of phone calls. I'm like, that's my life, all right? And I'm like, Alex, it's a pleasure to have you here. Such pleasantries. What's going on with your life? And we get out of the car and I'm like, oh, look at this. I didn't put my sunglasses on. I'm literally we just got out of the car and I said, look at that, Alex. There's the paparazzi right there over behind the black truck. They were dressed in all black. Click, click, click. I hear the clicks. I'm like allergic to them now. I hear them like click, click, click. Sometimes I dream and wake up in the middle of the night thinking I'm hearing click, 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 right? And they're out there for whatever they're out there for. And but the bigger story is New York. What are we gonna do on March 1st? Now, she's going off to speak at St. John's. I got my Gristedes bag, plastic, which is gonna be illegal on March 1st. By the way, that's not food, those are light bulbs. She's going to be excited to speak at her alma mater, and I'm going inside to change light bulbs and minding my own business. What are we gonna do on March 1st? I don't know about you, but the ban takes effect on March 1st. I don't always have a canvas bag with me. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to start to learn because carrying groceries in your arms like this is not gonna work. I've started to collect the bags though. Like when I go to the groceries, no, more than the ones I use. As soon as the cashier turns around to ring me up, I take a pile, put them in my bag. I don't know about you, but those bags, we're not just throwing them away. Like for me, I use them for after I finish a meal. I buy the big white plastic bags that I put in my recyclable bins, but in the apartment, but after I finish eating something good, I don't want that in there. I'm not trying to get roaches. I mean, But I like to use those bags to throw away. You know, if I have a pear or an apple or something like that, I put in those bags. When I finish with the cats and open their food, I know a vermin would love that old food. Sometimes I look at it with my mouth waters. So I throw their containers in there and then I take it out into the incinerator. Suzanne, what are you gonna do?
Well, I've been hoarding for months. Down in my basement, I have a whole area just bags that I'm gonna sell. No, but I know canvas bags. I mean, it's better for the environment. I'm glad that's happening.
It is better.
Yes. But you're gonna have to take a bag with you everywhere you go.
Everywhere.
Put it in your pocket, pull it out.
Because you never know when you're gonna go to the grocery store.
Exactly. It's a predicament.
You know, I have a lot of those Wendy bags that we have on wendyshow.com. They're black. They say Wendy on the side.
Yep.
Those crumple up to nothing. They're canvas with a good handle.
Yep.
Yeah, because the ones with the hard bottom, you can't really crumple them. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh man, Janae Dubois. That was Willona, yes. Willona Woods. Janae Dubois passed away on Monday. She was 74 years old, unexpectedly in her sleep. She lived in Glendale, California, and I guess she was living by herself. She was on Good Times for 5 years, playing the best neighbor of all, because she was the responsible one, you know what I mean? And she had a good job. You know, a lot of the sitcoms have neighbors. Like, I would love to be neighbors to Jack. Just Jack. From Will and Grace. But I wouldn't trust Jack with my children or cooking a meal or, like, he's good for laughter. You know, there are a lot of neighbors, like when the girls lived, you know, upstairs from Ross. Or, like, I'm not trusting the friends at Friends. But Willona, she worked at the boutique, remember? She made her money. She knew how to, if she didn't cook, she at least knew how to gather food. She was responsible enough to adopt Penny, AKA Janet Jackson. So in December, remember, she appeared on the Good Times Live special. We talked about that. It seems like we were just talking about her just the other day. Anyway, she composed the theme song for the Jeffersons. She had 3 daughters. She was married at one point. And it's just very, very sad. Janet released a statement. She says, I saw firsthand how she broke stereotypes and changed the landscape for Black women in entertainment. I'm grateful in recent years to have had a chance to see her and create more lasting memories. Rest in peace. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's a man here I've never met to be the guest on the couch.